The following is brought to you by the People's National Party.
Make the trumpets play. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. To get champions, we can do it together. When we look to the future of precipice, we see Jamaica needs the vision of the PSP. People said the bag of promises, them can't carry go shop. And the crime rate getting higher, wonder when it does now comrades. Jamaican people want better. Economy coming like stormy weather. Ancestors are turning on them grave. To get champions.
The proceeding was brought to you by the People's National.
All right, my wonderful people. Before we begin today, let me just go in the chat and big up some of the people. Chuck Life, bless up yourself. Right, Dan Mel, right, bless up yourself. Dorrit McCoy, right, Carla Ebanks, Crucial, bless up yourself, Crucial. John Rock 8766, Patel Kushank, and Beverly Clark, Elga Fletcher, Marian May, Wilbur Cameron, King Nation, Sonia Johnson, right, and Wilbur Cameron, and you and all just wrote, oh, Barbara Bryant, which is Brew, right, Catherine Eitness, right, blessing to you all, and, you know, for all the persons coming in. And Yvette GB, blessed up yourself, my sister. Right, as the people roll in, right, just give them my love, right, as they come in. Now, let me just have Sister Pinks just meet and greet. We will have Melting Pot forwarding later. Seems like he's having some technical difficulties, so as soon as he sort out himself, he will be joining us. Okay, Sonia Graham, AG, Sonia Johnson, Wilbert Cameron, right, Catherine Heitness, big up on herself, right, and thank you all for being here. Today is going to be very interesting, you know, people. Marge, right, Wilbert Cameron, and let me just give the space to Sister Spinks. All right, Sister Spinks, meet your people as usual. Bless yourself, my girl. Love you. All right, go ahead,
Yes,
sister.
good afternoon to you, Uncle Byron, and good afternoon to Lady Anne Marie, who will be joining us soon, hopefully. And good
Yes.
afternoon to Melting Pot. Good afternoon to Comrade Leader, our chairman, our chairwoman, James Sek, and our 63 candidates that competed in our election on Wednesday, our brave candidates. And I would like to say good afternoon to our blood and fire comrades who came out and represented, and to my people from St. James, especially who came out to vote, and especially to Northwest St. James. We are still supporting our candidate despite our loss. I
All
yield the
right.
floor. And to everybody in the chat, good afternoon to everybody in the chat. I keep
Yes,
forgetting them.
yeah, man, you have to bless up the family.
Yeah, I keep
All
forgetting
right,
them.
exactly. Now, my people, we are doing some, you know, what I would call backdoor investigation, some deep dive. And let me say this, based on the information that we are looking on, right? Jamaica Labour Party definitely stole the election. And I, you know, almost 100% that, you know, certain situation is going to drive this, right? As it relates to some by-elections coming up early, right? But we want as much together, as much evidence, right, to make sure that, okay, we put this issue in court because it has to be addressed. You can't have a government who force on right, his administration onto the people. And by the suppression of votes, right, preventing people from voting, which is also suppression of votes, right, buying votes, right, it just cannot be low, right, if you say we are a true democracy. And we have evidence so far as it relates to Juliet Owners, right, stopping a large bulk of people to vote. And while we have Glasspool Brown, right, is stating one thing, Andrew Owners, particularly Andrew Owners and his wife, right, they are doing another thing. And again, we say that is the fundamental reason why they got rid of the political ombudsman, right? Because having an independent political ombudsman is never taken place. So if you subdued the political ombudsman within the electoral office, now what is the outcome? What are they doing? So definitely what Andrew Warnes had done as it relates to his chess playing is to ghost the political ombudsman. Ghost the political ombudsman because he knows definitely what he's going to do. And in order for Andrew Warnes to be thinking about these things, simply saying Andrew Warnes knowing to the fact that he doesn't perform, his administration failed. And let us give the proof. If Andrew Warnes did perform, why Andrew Warnes lost 15 MPs? That's the question.
And the PNP did not lose any.
Right? The PNP did not lose one. PNP gained 15 more, which give them 29, which is going to give Andrew Warnes administration, right? I mean, some serious representation as it relates to representing the people. Because it is not like he can now just go and pass and discuss bill and don't have the People's National Party members in mind, right? This now means dialogue coming across the floor. And this means some serious dialogue, right? Because now that the People's National Party has a strong teeth, right? The People's National Party now advance from a lion cub to a full-fledged lion, which means now they are going to roar heavy in Parliament. And if Andrew Warnes having problem in terms of having 14 members, you understand that put up such a challenge, right? This term, right, Andrew Warnes, you know your problem is going to be equally doubled, right? Because the PNP had gained momentum as it relates to 110% increase, right, in terms of the parliament, being in parliament. So then these are some of the questions that we're asking. If Andrew Warnes perform, right, as he is out on different medium, right, giving interviews, telling how his administration has performed better than any other administration, then, sir, ask yourself the question. Go in front of a mirror. Go in front of a mirror, Andrew Warnes, and say, if I perform the way that I am saying that I perform, I brought down the poverty, right, level, right? You put the poverty level in half from 18% to 9%, right? You have the lowest unemployment, and you have the lowest as it relates to number 3, as it relates to the crime situation. Now, let me ask you a question, Andrew. I'm just reasoning with you. If all of these things were true, right? Why you lost 15 members of parliament? Think of it. Think of what I'm saying, Andrew. I'm not going to get, aggressive of my voice way up there. We are coming into reasoning with the people of Jamaica this morning and reason with you, Andrew Warnes. Say to yourself, Andrew Warnes, do an introspection, right? Do an introspection, and let me give you a perfect example. PJ Patterson stand the test of time of a third term. And I want you, Andrew Oles, to go back and look on the strength of PJ Patterson, right? Candidates, MP candidates in Parliament in his first term, second term, third term. Go back and do the study, Andrew Oles, and you will see that PJ Patterson maintained a momentum and managed to save many of his MPs because he was performing well. So the 18 years that you knock PJ Patterson for, PJ Patterson for the 15 years carry his administration through 3 terms, did not shed the amount of members of parliament that you shed. Ask yourself this question. We are reasoning now with, and I want to reason with the best mind. We know that Andrew Oles is very low, extremely low. So let us look through, you understand? Just look through beyond what Andrew Oles is saying. These are the questions that we're asking. The question that we're asking. PJ Patterson maintained 3 terms, right? Prime Minister for Jamaica, right? And leading the political party, PNP. And PJ Patterson first term, right? He made a transition in his second term. Did he shed, right, the loss of members of parliament? As a matter of fact, he increased on the second term. PJ Patterson increased on the second term, bringing more MPs in parliament. What happened to the third term of PJ Patterson? Having his member in parliament and protect them through the political campaign and the general election in terms of keeping his strength in parliament. What happened? PJ Patterson maintained that. Now let us look at Andrew Oles, the man who coming out and said no other administration had performed like his administration, and it is his administration who had fixed the economy, who had bring down security, the threat of crime, right? As according to him, as though he brag and boast, no other administration, he had brought down the crime level at the lowest level and unemployment at the lowest level, and talking about try to trick the people in, talking about how his administration never yet in the history of administration that any administration had give raise to the minimum wage, right? As it relates to 17,000. What he's not speaking about, and which is the truth, and that's why I coming out to speak to my people. Now, if you go back to Portia Simpson era, what you will see in Portia Simpson era, right? Let us talk about purchasing power and inflation. And this is where you're going to find that Andrew Oles is a fraud, he's a scammer. Now, in Portia Simpson led administration, what was the minimum wage? If you go back, my people, and you check it, in 2000 and 2012, 2015, minimum wage, $6,000. Now, let us compare in terms of what the $6,000 could have purchased as opposed to the $17,000. What can be purchased now? And we use 2 items. We use inflation and we use purchasing power. Now, as a result, in Portia Simpson time coming up, Portia Simpson managed to bring down inflation, I mean, in realness, not in PR. Not in PR. And so then in realness, it reflects throughout the society. Simple means, let us look on the cost of certain items then. For the $6,000, the $6,000 could now purchase more items then, because guess what? Lower inflation equal to stronger purchasing power. All right? And so then what you could have purchased, right, for the $6,000 minimum wage, right, you cannot purchase that with the $17,000 minimum wage as it relates to inflation now. So this is going to show you that Andrew Holness is running the economy in chaos. Why you cannot, so accept the question, my Jamaican people. Why in Portia Simpson era, you could use $6,000 and you buy more items and get more items from the grocery, from the market, from the meat shop, or wherever, right? And why am I having difficulty that I cannot use the 17,000, right, and purchase those items that I used to purchase, right, in 2012 as it relates to the amount of items? You can't, because guess what? Inflation rises, purchasing power dips. And so then that goes to show you that Andrew Holness is not managing the economy as what he's saying. And that is one of the reasons why Azan Furniture Box is saying to Andrew Holness that it is the worst that he has ever seen it under Andrew Holness administration. This is someone in the private sector. This is a business. This is a business tycoon is telling the Jamaican people, don't listen to what Andrew Holness is saying. Me, Azan, you understand, who are doing the day-to-day business, who I am the technocrats, is telling you, Jamaica, that this economy under Andrew Holness is worse. So we don't listen to Andrew Holness. Number one, Andrew Holness is not an economist. He's not. Right? And he knows nothing about the economy. The only thing that he does is PR. Because Andrew Holness is not reading the reality. Goes back to what I'm saying now. This is what I'm saying. As a result of the realness that is taking place in the economy where people are suffering, right? People are feeling that, okay, when I go to the supermarket, I am really feeling the pinch. I can hardly use $20,000. Let us put up that. He's talking about $17,000. There is no way $17,000 can serve the ordinary person per week. It can't. $17,000, honestly, cannot serve a family of 4, including children going to school. It can't. And so then, you realize that everything what he's saying and everything what he's trying to shape, Andrew Holness is just a simple can artist. It is the same methodology that Andrew Holness had used as it relates to him and his friends in the Ponzi scheme. They promise you falsehood. They promise you that, look, bank with us, and of course, invest with us, and we will give you 10% increase monthly. And so then by the year, you will get 120% increase. What Andrew Holness is doing is scamming the people of Jamaica. The very same thing that he had done, him and his friend in Cash Plus, the very same thing him and his friend did in Orient, the very same behavior him and his friend carry off in Cash Plus in SSL, is bringing that in the Jamaican economy. And so then, Andrew Holness is scamming the people. Let me just put up Sister Pinks and hear what Sister Pinks has to say in terms of my discussion, and then we go get into the clip. All right, Sister Pinks, go ahead.
Thank you, Uncle Byron. Okay, I'm just bragging about no other administration has ever done what he has done or what his administration has done. Andrew is bragging about the wrong things, but we know he is the only prime minister who has bought a DR before his name, and it's a fake DR. He's the only prime minister who has ever had 28 bank accounts. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize my mic was muted. Thank you, Uncle Byron. I'm just bragging about no other administration has ever done what he has done. He's the first prime minister and the first person I know to actually buy and put a fake DR before his name. He's the only prime minister who has ever had 28 bank accounts. He's the only prime minister who has ever had $3 trillion so far missing from unaccounted for. He is the first prime minister who has missing permanent secretaries. He is the first prime minister who administered over the worst health sector, the worst education sector, and the worst security sector. Not to mention, all our civil servants are upset with him. He is the first prime minister to be involved in Ponzi schemes. He is the first prime minister to not do proper spending of our money and the bleeding of our taxpayers' money, squandering it left, right, and center, having their treasurer from their side have the privilege of dipping into our tax money anytime he pleases. And he's the first prime minister of Jamaica who is actually gambling away the future of Jamaica. And I yield the floor. And I yield the floor, Uncle Byron. You have muted your mic. Nobody can hear you.
Okay, let me say this. Everything that we're saying, right, is 100% true. And we have the records to prove it. But it's a crying shame on this prime minister, right, as it relates to not only that he had done all what he had done as it relates to the high level of corruption. Now Andrew Holness reached a new low. What Andrew Holness have done on September the 3rd is to defranchise many of our Jamaican people from not voting. And this is now correct. Right? This is what we call full-fledged dictatorship. Because here you have an administration forcing itself, right, onto the people, taking away the people's choice. We have, as we said, we have seen where Andrew Holness, right, interrupt with the voting process. We have seen where Juliet Holness interrupt with the voting process. Juliet Holness, who had voted already, right, back and forth into the polling station. And this should be reason, right, to either cancel, right, the situation with Juliet Holness, or definitely have it ventured into a recall. Because Juliet's situation definitely need a recall because Juliet breach. Juliet Holness breach. You can't have someone with a criminal mindset. You understand? Now, this is the reason in terms of when we have our parliament resumed, right? Juliet Holness cannot be, right, the House Speaker. You can't have a criminal mind like what Juliet Holness has and participating in criminal activities, right? And she being the Speaker of the House. But look at this now, my Jamaican people. Watch this. Prior to Juliet Holness being the Speaker of the House, you have Dalrymple, right? Who was the Speaker of the House, who now is a criminal. Am I lying, people? Dalrymple is a criminal. Now we are investigating some things, as it relates to this election. Let me call out some names, right, as it relates to our investigation, right, into certain things that we are looking into. And when we get the evidence, so far we have gotten some evidence, but we want to make sure that we utilize the system as it relates to EOJ system, right? And I hope might be by my next appearance, which is later today, I might get some of that to share with you. So Andrew Ones and Juliet, right? We have election interference, definitely with them. Darrell Vaz and his wife and James Robert, I am talking right now. We have definitely interference with them. Robert Montague and Malawi Fort, we have election interference with these people. And what I notice as it relates to the list that I just called out, it is a possibility that all of the persons who I have called out, they are under the microscope of the Integrity Commission investigation. They could be a part of, right, the 10 that is under investigation. Remember, I say it to the people. Remember, I read out this. Remember, I say it. And you know, very shortly, we are going to learn, right? These people, Andrew Ones and Juliet, Darrell Vaz and his wife, James Robertson, Robert Montague and Malawi Fort. Remember, Mystic Sensation, speak this. Just want to make sure we have that out there. So these are some of the things that we are looking into, and we are getting some strong evidence. The general, I can now categorically come out and say, yes, indeed, without a shadow of a doubt, with all the evidence that I am currently looking on, right? Yes, the general election was stolen. As I said, later on today, I am going to try to make sure I get some more information, right? We are just now anticipating to get some information as it relates to the EOJ, right? Information as it relates to some of the locations where we can get to see. Oh, let me give an evidence. Let me give a clue. We want to see as it relates to polling station, right? Like how many ballots we're going through that particular polling station. And so far, what we are looking on, Andrew Ones, right? Many of them have been, right, I would say, cancelled, stopped, voters suppression. And I am looking on that particular one because that is very serious. The Prime Minister knows that if he loses his constituency, then he cannot be the Prime Minister, and he will have no cover, right, and have no protection from the investigation. And this is one of the reasons why, you understand, corruption tried to save the Prime Minister, but Andrew Ones, you're not going to get away with it. We are here in the space. You are not going to get away with it. Trust me. Let me just go to, right, some clips here and get into the business of the day, right? Now, this is very serious. You, come on. You are so dangerous that now you want to rob our democratic rights, Andrew Ones, right? You want to rob now our democratic rights. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable, my people. Unbelievable. Right? So we have to deal with that. That is what we are going to deal with. Right? That is what we're going to deal with. So let us get into the business of the day. And here, let me show you something, people. You know that when I come to Mystic Sensation, this is no joking. When we said we are looking at some solid evidence, and when I can come out and say categorically that the election was stolen by Andrew Ones, you understand? And it's Cumberland's. Yes, it was. Look at this.
What the blood clot them is in the brain. What the mean in national schoolyard? What the game? What the man? What the blood clot them?
So, okay. Now, as we look on that clip, right, we are seeing, right, part of the voter suppression, where these people were locked out and prevented from being voted, going through the process. And you know what? I want to, Glassford Brown, I'm just asking a question, Glassford Brown. I'm just asking a question. I'm not accusing you. How much did you collect in a bribe, right, to be aware that these things were happening and you make no effort in resolving them as it relates to voter suppression? Were you quite advanced or have any knowledge that this was going to be done? Because you, Glassford Brown, let me talk to you, Glassford Brown. You came out and you said that the voting process, the duration of the voting process is between 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And we have you on video, you know. So you can't say you didn't say it. And you said quite clearly that voting process began at 7 a.m. right up until 5 p.m. But however, for persons who are in the line, all of those persons will get an opportunity to cast his or her vote. That's what you said. So, Mr. Glassford Brown, that is not what transpired on the ground. Contrary to what you have said, what transpired on the ground is that we have seen Juliet Owens, we have seen Andrew Owens sabotage that process. And we have the videos. We have the evidence. We have seen that. So, to the fact, and not only that, I am going to show you also Cafe concerns, because Cafe also witnessed that. So it's just not Mr. Temptation is saying this. You are saying one thing, Glassford Brown, that persons, right, the process begin at 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and all persons, right, whether the line long, yes or no, they will be given the opportunity to vote. And they are to be given the opportunity to vote. So while you're coming out saying this, right, you aware, right, you aware that it was going to the contrary. People were actually prevented from votes. I'm looking on Andrew Owens' PD polling division. And what I am seeing there, I am seeing the exact thing that Cafe is talking about. So then, without any further delay, let me show you what Cafe is talking about. Because remember that Cafe is independent. You know. Cafe is only in election observer that speak truth, you understand, to power. So let us look as it relates to what Cafe is saying in terms of the video clip that I showed, the evidence that I showed Andrew Owens. You understand that people have been prevented. People have been prevented. You hear the concern of the first clip that I played. You understand the people are saying, open, give them access because they want to vote. Open up and give them access. And the deliberate action that being utilized there and that clip, they were locked out, which end up cause overcrowdedness. And then, guess what? Many of those people weren't allowed to vote. That is voter suppression, Mr. Andrew Owens. But guess what? You have no heart. You are corrupt. Look here. Hey, you are so corrupted. You are so corrupted. You are out there talking about how Jamaica people vote right? And they speak as it relates to who they want. And you want the Jamaican people don't want you, and you know that the Jamaican people don't want you. Let me tell you why the Jamaican people don't want you. Before I go to the cafe thing, let me just say Andrew Wallace why the Jamaican people and give him facts, give him data. In 2020, when you so-called won the general election, the percentage of the population that voted for you was how much? Was 21%. 20 to 21% of the voting population voted for you. That means you're a minority government. You are a minority government. The majority of Jamaica don't want you. And you know that, Andrew Owens. Look here. Every sensible people is going to tell you that. When you win in 2020, it is 21% of the voting black that voted for you. What does that mean, Andrew Owens? Do your maths. It simply means majority of the population don't want you, sir. They are saying they don't need you. And let me show you the proof now. This election that you so-called won, how much of the population voted for you? 19%, sir. Sir, you want to look on the information? Go and look on the information that is coming out. 19%. That means you have lost 2%, and yet you claim that you still win the general election. Evidence and proof that you have stolen it, sir. So you have reduced over the 5-year period. Let me teach you, because it seems like, I don't know, something wrong with your head. You have a mental issue. I think you have this now gone to a mental case. You are really mental. You have a mental depravity. Honestly. Now, let us see if we can reason some sense with you, Andrew Owens. In 2020, right, your voting block as it relates to the people who voted for you was 20 to 21%. This year general election, 2025, 19% voted for you. You use the pretext as if it relates to voters' apathy, while your mechanism and your trickery to suppress the vote. Because I know very well that the amount of people who turn out to vote, right, is much more than 2020. But what happened? They have not been recorded in the process because of your suppression, stopping them from going through the process of the voting, confusing them, draining them, so that they turn out from the poll. You should look at that and shame up yourself. That the 2025 so-called third term simply means you get a chance to save your ass. Let me tell you what the third term means. You are getting a chance to save your ass, but your ass will not be saved, because we are in social media. Your ass will not be saved. So you believe, and listen to me, your challenges, right, will be more aggressive. Yes, we are telling you that, Andrew Owens. Your challenges are going to be more aggressive. Right? You have more uphill to climb more than anything else. This term that you have, you are going to have more obstacles to climb, and we are guarantee you that within this term, let me say this, carefully say this, within this term, you may land yourself in prison where you really belong. So then, this is what I'm talking about, because I want the people to understand. You being a 19%, right? We can understand the reason why you are being 19% from from 20 to 21% in 2020. Now you are 19%. Why you are 19%? Let me give you the reflection that show the example why you are 19%. Boom! You lose 15 of your member of parliament. People look at it. 19% you reduce. Boom! You lose 15 of your members of parliament. So then, how are you understand, doing solid in the economy? And you end up losing 15 members of parliament under your so-called, you understand, solid performance, and you have the, it goes to show you that everything that you're saying, you're a PR prime minister, you're a liar, you're a scammer. You are a scammer, Andrew Holness, and the entire world knows that you're all scammer. And that is why we are seeing the real, apart from what you're saying, these are the realities. You have lost under 1% between 2020 and 2025. Simply means you are not performing good. Based on your performance matrix that I am looking on, right? You are not performing good. Now, let me go to, again, the situation in terms of you losing 15 of your member of parliament. Simply means you are not, what the people are saying when you lose 15 members, Andrew, let's have a reason with you. What the people are saying to you when you lose, more than 15 you're losing. More than 15 you're losing. So let me tell you that. And this is one of the reasons why we are investigating you. You have lost more than 15, you have lost the general election. But let us say what is out there. The 15 that you have lost, the people in those constituencies, what do you think they are saying to you, Andrew Holness? Do you believe, Andrew Holness, that they are saying, oh yes, you perform well, you have brought down the poverty rate from 18% to 9%. But you know, since you are doing so fine and you're doing so good, we are not going to vote for you. Talk to me now, Andrew Holness. Talk to me about Jamaica now. Okay, you brought the poverty rate from 18% to 9%. You end up losing 15 of your members, right? So for those persons in those constituencies where you fall terribly on your face, what those constituencies are saying to you, Andrew? What are they saying? Are they saying to you, yes, you perform this prime minister, yes, he performed the best, and yes, he brought down poverty rate from 18% to 9%. And when we look on the security and safety issue, yes, he did well because, of course, he bring down he's the prime minister that deals with the number 3 rate in a very effective way. And when you look on the inflation, yes, inflation is doing, he's bringing down inflation and so forth, and the economy is running so well. And these people, as I come to you, they don't have any sense because you are dealing with prosperity for their lives, and these people don't know anything about prosperity, and so then they voted you out. My, is this you want to spin to the people? Andrew Holness? This is what you want to spin to Jamaican people. This is what you're telling Jamaican people, because you're a scammer. Let me tell you why you lose those things and you lose the election. Let me tell you why you lose the election. Now look and see if these are not reasons for you to lose the election, general election. When the Jamaican people look as it relates to the constituencies that you have failed or that you have failed, they are saying to you, Andrew, number one, we have a situation as it relates to $3 trillion unaccounted for, that your administration said you're spent and we are not seeing the evidence of expenditures. Number one, that is what they are saying to you, sir. They are saying to you, in comparison to your performance as it relates to the crime rate, what you have seen when we check the statistics, the statistical data, the Jamaica Consent Bureau for statistical data, both data are saying to us Jamaican people that under the Portia Simpson-led administration, they deal with crime, right, and handle crime better than you, number one, and exhibit to prove, right, the murder rate under Portia Simpson administration lower than yours in your administration within the 15 years, sir. When you look at the economy, people are finding it difficult as it relates to your so-called never before giving 15,000 as your hand arm, a little arm, medium, and this is it, you know. It all depends on the type of people who are asking you questions, and you are wrapping up. You're tricking the journalists who are asking you the question. When you are telling the journalists, look, if you should go back to 2015, and when I said I could raise the minimum wage ×3, and you quoted Portia Simpson. I watched it now, and I have the clip. I'm going to play it later. And you said, if you look back, the minimum wage was $6,000, and I partially raised it ×3, partially. Andrew, you are so effing disingenuous. What you're not telling the people. Because if I was that journalist, what I would have asked you, I would have asked you right then and there in front of the face, sir. How do you measure the purchasing power in comparison to Portia Simpson, minimum wage $6,000, and how do you measure your purchasing power at your 17,000 minimum wage? And that's why some of the journalists, they don't know what to ask you. And so you get away with these things in tricking the Jamaican people. So then let me put it out there in terms of what needs to be asked to you. You, for journalists who are asking this sort of question, must ask the question to compare power and inflation rate as it relates to 2012 to 2015 and from 2016 to 2025. How is inflation measured up to purchasing power? What would you say, Andrew Warnes? You cripple under that stone. You sink under that stone. And then now, the next question, the follow-up question would have asked you to say, in the Portia Simpson era, between 2012 to 2015, what 6,000 can buy, the amount of items that could be purchased then, $17,000 cannot purchase that. So when you do the comparison, you have seen that you fear the Jamaican people, Andrew Warnes. Now speak about the economy. You don't know nothing about economy. You understand me? I said, don't speak about the economy with a scam himself. You don't know nothing about the economy. And let's get into the information as it relates to what Cafe is saying, because sometimes when I talk, people, I am so passionate. I know that things is so passionate. But you see the way we love the Jamaican people, and when we look and we see one canatis, and we see one liar, and we see one scammer, and we see one outright thief. You understand? They try to thieve the Jamaican people, them birthright. We have to defend it. So, you understand? Just forgive me in terms of how me sound this morning. But you understand? Now come out full force. And me know you don't joke with them. Me know you don't joke with them. Okay. All right. Let us get into this. Right? And show. Right? And no, not this. All right. Let me just not bother share that. Come out of that. Cancel this. Okay. Let me get back into that document that I need to share. So people, you have to see with me, right? I'm a little bit angry, really angry, right? And sort of, pissed off right now, right, with what is going on with this situation and this general election. We are going to investigate it thoroughly. My Jamaican people, don't worry yourself, because Mystic Sensation is not going anywhere. So let me just, like how we share this, we're just showing, you understand what we are saying in terms of the evidence that we have and that what Cafe is picking up in terms of what Andrew Warnes and his administration have done. Now, Cafe concerns some electors not allowed to vote despite being in line by close of poll. So now we come back to you now, Glassport Brown. Glassport Brown, may I ask you a question? did you collect any money from the Jamaica Labour Party administration to turn a blind eye, sir? Let me ask you again. Did you collect any money from the Jamaica Labour Party administration to turn a blind eye? Let me ask you another question. Were you promised any form of promotion, any form of gift as it relates to that? Now, let me answer you. Let me answer for you. Because part and parcel of these questions, you understand? You know, I'm asking a rhetorical question because I know the answer. You, Mr. Glasspool Brown, promised by the administration big award. But what we know about the award that you have been promised? I am asking you now, were you promised and given any form of monetary value to look left? Because you said that the polling station, the duration of the voting should be from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and persons who are already in the line should be allowed to vote. And that should be the process. To give the people, right, their democratic right to vote. But what you have, Andrew Ones and Juliet Ones sabotage this. So going forward, let me put something on the thing. Let me put something on the thing now. Now, let me just put something now on the thing now, people. Now, what I am going to advise our 29 members to do now. My 29 members, take it from Mystic Sensation. In terms of any dialogue, what we want you to put back in the streamline is an independent ombudsman that will operate independently. That should be your first business of the day. I want you to hear me. People's National Party, Comrade Leader, Democratic Socialism, I want you to hear me. You have 29 strength and power. You're not a lion cub anymore that you could be kicked around, right? You could box around, right? And you only could be only, you know, make a little surface crowd. Now we have given you, now we have grown you into a full-fledged lion, where you have the skill and the talent to attack. I am saying to you, this should be one of our first business of the day for an independent ombudsman. And if they can't come down to your level in giving you that, I'm not going to speak, you know what to do. Right? Because no, you're a lion now. No guy can box you around again. And no guy can walk out from you in a parliament and parliament have to close. Because we have the numbers now, so when they walk out of parliament, then they go on. Because you can run that. How we sound? When you talking and chat, now, comrade. When you say yes, if you sound good. Talking at the chat, when you say yes, if you sound good. No guy can box you around again. And when they walk out of parliament, because pressure attack them and you talk up the truth. Them can't walk out and go on because parliament can't stop. Parliament have to continue. So we now control that. So now let me say this. Now, and let me just bring Sister Springs in the space because it sounds like me alone I talk too much, you know. So I'm the sister there, they come like me left for my sister. But you know, I'm passionate, my sister. All right, so let me just bring Sister Springs in the space.
Yes, right. Uncle Byron. Yes, Uncle Byron. Thanks for having me here again.
All right.
We know that removing Gillette as the Speaker of the House should be the first order of the day when Comrade Leader sits in Parliament when Parliament is open. And also, I will appeal to my Comrade Leader to also remove Leroy Clark as also Deputy Speaker.
Oh, yes.
And Because you see what happened, we don't want them to have power over the IC reports when they are tabled in Parliament. Because we saw both of them abuse their power as Speaker of the House and Deputy Speaker to suppress the tabling of the IC report. You saw
Yes.
them trying to manipulate and create issues and hurdles, unnecessary hurdles, right? Especially Juliet Holness, where the IC reports were to be tabled. And they tried to delay it being tabled because she know it concerned her husband. So we don't want her to have that upper hand anymore. And removing Juliet as a bully out of the as being the Speaker of the House would mean that she no longer will be able to turn off the mics. I would tell all my 29 candidates, walk with a bullhorn into the House of Parliament when it opens, just in case they turn off the mic on you. You can use the bullhorn because they are being rude and abusive. And this is the other reason why we should remove both of them as Speaker of the House and as Deputy Speaker. Now, I would like to remind my Jamaican voters that back in the past elections going, we were advised as voters to always go to the polling station in neutral colors. No party colors were allowed to go on the compound or go inside of a polling station. This election, the JLP administration said people are allowed to wear their colors, but not the logo of the JLP or the PNP on their shirts. And what that did was divide the crowd so that they could know who to target and to tell who not to vote. And that is how the voter suppression started, by them tricking us into thinking that once you go there in your orange or with your orange band on or anything orange on you, that you'll be allowed to vote. Because what happened yesterday was another trickery on us as a nation. Jamaicans were not allowed to voice. Their voice was suppressed the same way Hitler suppressed the voice of Germany before he became dictator. The same way people like Papa Doc and Baby Doc
Yes.
suppressed the voice of the Haitians. And
Seaga.
let me tell my Jamaicans this: we do not want the same policies that happen in Germany happen here. We don't want the same history of what happened in Haiti happening here. And to avoid this, we have to stand firm and look ahead and pick out the tricks that they planned for us, because that was a trap. We just
Yes.
saw the clip being played here by Uncle Byron, right? Where it was PNP people in their orange who were shouting and demanding their right to go in to a polling station to vote. If you had worn neutral colors that day, they would not target you. They would not target you, my comrades. And this is something we must think about in the future. Because when I went to vote on Wednesday, the EOJ officer or supervisor on the ground was pushing labor rights ahead of the line. I noticed that. I also noticed there were no cafe representatives there on the ground. Where were they? I saw one decade police officer, and the soldiers just drove up in their jeep and they turned around and they went on their way. So even those things are a question. And when you see that clip with comrades being denied their votes and their voice here in this country that they were born in, that they live in, pay taxes in, I asked myself, where were the police officers at that location? Where were the cafe agents at that location? We saw before election that you cafe put out ads about wanting people to work. What happened? You didn't have enough people? Because my polling station did not have any cafe rep there. So again, cafe, what is your exact duty at
Exactly.
these polling stations? And why is it you did not have enough agents? And why didn't you make it public that you did not have enough agents to send around to every polling station? You see, these are the things we have to talk about because we want the right to have a voice in this country. Our forefathers did not fight for us to have this here. Sam Sharp did not fight for us to have this here. He died in Sam Sharp Square for a reason, for us to have our freedom at this generation. And now we have a man manipulating, a madman running this country, a madman with a frontal lobe problem, a madman who doesn't know right from wrong, a madman who has been scamming us from day one, from 1997 he went into politics until this day, along with his wife, suppressing votes left, right, and center. No, Jamaicans, I want you to really think about these things. My Jamaicans, I love you with my passion and my heart. And I want us to have the mobility to move ahead in our life with freedom. A Jamaican must be able to speak. Every Jamaican must have a voice. Whether you're JLP or PNP, you must have a voice. We must come to the table equally and respect each other equally. And that's what I want for my countrymen and women. Now, when you talk about the maths and you work out the percentage, remember in Portland they have a mayor there who is actually a GLP mayor who does not know how to work out percentage. So maybe Andrew himself does not know how to work out a percentage. So maybe Damian need to take him to his classroom and teach Andrew maths
Exactly.
because maths is one of my favorite subjects, and maths is the easiest subject because it only asks you four questions: addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Addition and subtraction are opposites of each other. Division and multiplication is opposite of each other. And this is why it's easy to work out maths and work back the answer. And there can be no wrong answers when it comes to maths. Many times we see they represented the GLP members of parliament come on different platforms and talking and embarrass themselves, reading from papers, and they can't read the document in front of them. Jamaicans, why would you want someone there who cannot read a document in front of them? We saw people like Action and other people.
Crazy.
They don't even know where they are sometimes in the hype that they're in. Rhoda came out and she was in St. Andrew and she claimed that she was in another parish. They don't know the geography of Jamaica. They want to change a Portmore and make it a parish. What for what reason? For their own benefit. And I'm sorry Raymond Price did not win his seat because he's there on the battlefield in front of us. And he guided that from happening. But we now have a stronger voice in Parliament and they will not make Portmore another parish. We will stand our ground on that issue. And going forward, I support 100% my comrade leader. I'm behind our comrade leader 100%. He has a good team around him and he has very good supporters and he has 29 people who are strong, educated, and even though those candidates, PNP candidates that did not win their seats, they're all strong candidates. And we need to put our resources and all the people who were bought out, tears of the nation, children, is on you. Because
Exactly.
you just sold out your future and your children's future and your grandchildren's future. And shame on you for doing that. Any PNP person who took a bribe for Wednesday not to turn up where they promised to turn up, your disappointment to us and your disloyalty will be paid forward because karma always hit back, and I'm sure the money is finished already. I'm sure the money is finished already. No, when you look at Andrew and we question why his two sons were not on the voters list, let me mention that again. This means that the parents are not being supported by their sons in their political careers. Where are the sons? I keep asking that question. Where are the sons of Andrew and Juliet right now? Are they in the island or off the island? Did anybody see them go through any airport? We need to know where they are because I'm concerned to know why their sons did not support them in their political career. And I suspect the reason is that they see the corruption and they're embarrassed. Why would you want to go out in the public with two parents who are under IC investigations? One made public, and they use their children's name over and over again in their shell companies. What an embarrassment. What kind of future you put on your children? What kind of burden you put on your children? If they do not love their own children, will they love you, the
No.
voter? Will they love you, the voter? Think about these things. It's a simple common sense. If their own children did not support them, why are you supporting them in their nonsense and their hanky panky? No, we will talk later about voter suppression in more details, but I would like Jamaicans to think about these things and think about this that I'm going to put forward to you. Andrew came out some time ago and he promised us that we will sleep with our windows and doors open. It never happened.
Never happened.
Then it never happened, and the worst thing that happened is that the crime rate went up. The first year that Andrew was in power, the crime rate went way up, the highest ever. What Andrew did after that was basically suppress the numbers and the data to make it look as if crime rates were going down. And until this day, that is what he has been doing to convince you that the crime rate is down. The other thing that they use is that they keep denying it and will not tell you because they're an opaque government, is that we have less police officers in the system, less soldiers in the system, because once they are trained here, our security forces migrate because they get better money overseas for the same service, or they transfer themselves into a security company because security guards that are armed get higher pay than the security guards that are not armed. So let them stop fooling you about these numbers that they are fudging and this fake data they keep giving us. Remember, Jamaica, for the past 3 years, we do not know what the population is. So how can Fayetteville Williams come out and give us a GDP accurately?
Exactly.
They did not pay the census takers. We do not know the population of Jamaica today. You cannot calculate the GDP of a country unless you know what the population is. And if you don't have a census, how can you calculate what is needed for the country?
There you go. There you go.
The maths has to maths out. You
It's true.
cannot run a country and not know what the population is. You will not. You will need this information to know how much healthcare to provide, how much school to provide, how much police to provide per rate, and the ratio of police officers to the population and to the rural areas and urban areas. How much police officers are being provided in St. James Parish? We have not received any new police officers. Trelawney the same thing. Westmoreland the same thing. Why is that? Because we're having a smaller police force than before. So they're hanky panky. is coming forth right now. And Andrew stated that he can turn up and turn it down when it's ready when it comes to crime. And I would like my Jamaicans to think about what I'm about to say to you. Remember, GLP came out, and we know that their leaders have this one done manship behavior from Seaga, Bruce Golding, Andrew Winnes. This dictatorship attitude, one man, mafia boss attitude. We have seen where a large gun shipment was found. We have seen where pipe bombs were found.
Yes.
Add those information together and you know who are importing guns. The CIA worked with Seaga back in his time to import guns into this country to topple Michael Manley back in his time. And what happened? The same behavior is playing out today. If they are importing guns and if they are ones making pipe bombs, right? And they know the players in the field who are their foot soldiers and their era dons. They can tell the era dons and their foot soldiers when to commit crime and when not to commit crime.
Oh, yes.
And it's simple maths. Maths it out, people. Use your common sense. If Andrew can say he can turn it up and turn it down when he feels like, he is telling us directly he has control over the gunmen in this country. He is telling us directly that he can control crime. Remember that statement. Remember that statement. He made it. Nobody forced him to say it. You have never heard those words out of Mark Golden. And because of the high rate of crime here in Jamaica, which goes unreported, and the data being made less than what it is, remember, we have still have a travel advisory from America, Canada, and England until this day. If the crime rate was truly down, wouldn't they have removed the travel advisory by now? You went on September 3rd and you voted for a prime minister who lied to you over and over again. The crime rate is not down. They just control their gunmen and said, listen, don't go out there tonight or for the next 2 weeks. Here is some money. That is how it works. That is how it works. And remember, most of these members of parliament over the GLP side can call in the police when they are ready and get tired of these gunmen to go and kill them. It happened in Seaga's time, it happened in Bruce Gordon time, it is happening now. We have seen from the beginning of this year until this day how many young men lost their life to the police officer and to the police force. No, going forward, I'm going to ask the young men who are taking up these guns from these members of parliament to remember that the gun in your hand that they give you is to kill your brother and sister in Jamaica. Remember, when you rent a gun, you're going to kill your brother and sister. And remember, within a few years, if they give you that amount of time, remember the same person who give you the gun is going to come back to you and put your name on a wanted list because he wants to get rid of you. And I'm tired of seeing guns being found in Jamaica without the owners. Without the owners, illegal guns being found in Jamaica without the owners. And speaking of guns, FLA, I need to address you. Why is it you are removing the legal licenses of several people in Jamaica without just cause? FLA need to be investigated for this. I've been hearing from many people who have legal licenses in Jamaica to have their legal weapons for their own protection, for themselves and their family and their businesses. It's been removed. It has been called in and given without any reason, justifiable reason. And I yield the floor to you, Uncle Byron.
Wow, that's news to me, Spinks, right? I love how you just, you understand, romancing that information, right, to us, really solid, right? But thank you for that, Spinks. Wonderful input, wonderful
Thank
input.
you. You're welcome.
All right, Jamaica, we are going to go into some serious issues concerning Darrell Vaz and concerning Darrell Vaz's wife, Acton Ann, as well. And we are going to touch some areas in Portland. Let me say this, Jamaica. Darrell Vaz has been doing a lot, right? And he creates a lot of mayhem, damage a lot of people's life. And that's the truth. And so then we're going to shed some light there, right? But since we are still in the stealing of the general election, which we are now seeing the evidence coming out, right? This is something that we have to emphasize on. This is something that we have to really, deal with, because this is a crisis. And look at these people.
Come in now, come in.
It might not go with we box them people. It might not go with we box them. We got from Wood Park Road. Them gone with we box them. Them gone with the box them. We are running down. We need backup. We need backup.
Now, I am very serious where this is concerned, right? Very serious where this is concerned, right? And that's evidence. That's evidence. Voter suppression, stealing of ballot boxes, putting of ballot boxes. This time they can't deny it. In saying, okay, all right, these are just troublemaker bloggers who, blogging lies. We have evidence. We are showing the clip, right? And where we have the police, some policemen and women who involved in that atrocity. Robert Montague, because that is your region, and we know you have gotten money, right? And that portion of money come from the UDC to you to buy these votes and create mayhem. We know the facts, We have the evidence, but you, Montague, let me say this. You have no conscience. And let me use this as it relates to the allegation. Let me say that you being a member of parliament, having relationship as it relates to the allegation, including a 13-year-old young lady. What example you set? Child molestation. What example you set? And so then what you carrying off with, and other things that you have involved with, the purchasing of police cars, and where half of them don't even touch the island even until now, and we don't know how that money went. Another corruption that you allege to have involved in, and where you are worrying. You are one of the persons, let me tell social media, you are one of the persons worrying a lot now about the IC. You let me put that out there. And so then you believe that, okay, you steal yourself, right, into parliament, can help you. Well, let me tell you something, Montague. You have another thing coming. You have another thing coming. Because let me tell you something. We know that you especially is going to be a near future by-election. Remember, I say this to you, Montague. Yes, your constituency is going to be up for by-election very shortly. So you can rest assured. And this can't save you, you know. You think you serve yourself by stealing the general election can save you in parliament. It can't save you. You understand? Now let me go over, the next corrupted person. You understand? Extremely corrupted, right? So let me just get over there and, get into the business of the day as usual. Right? So let us do that. So yes, Darren Vaz, I'm coming to you. I'm going to have Jamaica listen to you, you know. And because we know that, I don't know if the time that you were speaking, you were under the substance. Have you been using the substance lately, Darren Vaz? I'm just asking.
Can't stop. Can't stop.
Come in now, come in.
The man a go with the box them people. The man a go with the box them.
Sorry about this. Sorry about this. Let me just stop from share this. I'm going to stop from share this. I made a mistake here, people. I'm going to have to put back this Darrell Vaz clip because I want you to hear me now. I want you to hear Darrell Vaz. So let me just put up back this Darrell Vaz clip quickly. Darrell Vaz. Let me just put him up back quickly here. Sorry about that again. Let me just, okay. Hold on a minute. Okay, let me just, all right. So let me, just give me a little minute, because the technical part here, let me just call for Wi-Fi assistance. Just give me a minute, people. And come here fast. Okay. All right, just give me a little minute, people, because I have to hold on. Let me just correct this. Yeah, bring about this. There it was. I don't know where it's gone. Look at that one. It would have done so. No, okay. We need to be honest, but okay, you get bump off. You get bump off.
Spinks want to talk in the meanwhile.
All right, Spinks.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, talk to them in the meanwhile.
I would like my Jamaicans to know that the bomb threats last week Friday, if you notice that the areas where the bomb threats were located are possible areas that the members of parliament in those parishes or those areas are under the IC investigation. I would like to explain again about my experience on Wednesday. I reached my location at 6:30, and while I was there, there were 20 persons in front of me to vote.
Right, it's this one.
Okay.
There was one police officer there on location, and EOJ agent there, our supervisor, was putting
All
me the
right.
right response.
All right, Sister Springs, I'm back in business.
Okay, we're back
And
in business. Yeah,
started
man,
again.
Lady Ann is the first woman, the technical director, you know.
See it. Okay, so yeah, I got it. I got him hooked now. So people, I want you to listen to this. Let me just share this. Let us listen to this man here.
Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. You know why? You know why? You know why? You must vote them out. Not because you are PNP or you are JLP. God don't like ugly. God don't like bad mind. And bad mind is not something you're born with. Bad mind in your heart, but you're born.
Slew them up, their feelings, them a carry. Them done go already, and them can't say them sorry.
All right. All right, Mr. Vaughn. All right, Mr. Vaughn. All right, Mr. Vaughn. As it relates to what you have said, dear Mr. Vaughn, right? Now, we just want to ask you certain questions, you know. And I'm going to show Jamaica the next clip because you talk about bad mind and God not like ugly. And I'm going to ask you, right? As it relates to what you said God not like ugly. And you're right. God not really like ugly for you. Right? God not really like ugly. And that's why I'm going to show Jamaica this, because God not like ugly, as what you said. And you need to have a conscience. So let me play this and ask you.
Major crime investigators are combing a section of Paisley Gardens, Portland, following the death of Member of Parliament for Portland Eastern, Dr. Linville Bloomfield. His body was found this morning with stab wounds, and the weapon used was found in the house. TVJ's Shamela Pullen reports.
A crowd converging, kept at a distance by the familiar yellow tape drawn at a crime scene. They were there as news filtered through that the body of Portland Eastern MP, Dr. Linville Bloomfield, was found with stab wounds at his home in Paisley Gardens, Portland, minutes after 10 Saturday morning. TVJ News understands that Dr. Bloomfield's helper showed up for work and found the body in a corner of the bathroom. We were told the helper alerted the gardener and the neighbors, who called the police. A bloodstained blunt instrument was also found. According to police source, it appears there was a struggle between the attacker or attackers and Dr. Bloomfield. Friends and colleagues of Dr. Bloomfield are in shock and disbelief at the manner of his death.
Terrible for more than one reason. As a member of parliament and representing the country, to have somebody kill a member of parliament is something that we hardly have in this country. I don't know if we ever had it in recent history. It's bad for the parish, it's bad for the constituency, but more so, it is really sad to lose anybody like that, and more so our member of parliament.
Counsel for the Port Antonio Division, Dexter Rowland, says he last spoke to Dr. Bloomfield Friday morning.
I was trying to call him back last night, maybe about 8:45. Called him about 3 times and didn't get him. This morning about 7 o'clock, started calling about 3 or 4 times. I didn't get him. Then when I was coming from Shortford this morning, I look up at the surgeon and didn't see his van there. So I was wondering and say, where Doc gone to? Then look further down the road, I got a call that he was murdered.
Everybody will know Dr. Bloomfield. Remove politics, remove everything else. He's a calm person that is... There's nobody that see Dr. Bloomfield that wouldn't like him, naturally just seeing him like that. Mm-hmm. And he's that type of person. Okay. So as a human being, I think he's a great human being. And this is something that I want the police to leave no stone unturned to find the perpetrator.
Meanwhile, head of the Area 2 Police Headquarters, Assistant Commissioner Albert Nelson said the Major Investigation Division will lead the probe. Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.
All right. Let us stop here that. All right. Now, my Jamaican people, let me ask this question. And I'm asking Darrell Vaz and James Robertson a question. I'm just only asking a question. Right? Just only asking a question. I am asking if you know anything relating to Mr. Bloomfield murder. The question I'm asking. If you know anything relating to Mr. Bloomfield murder. Right? Now, that is the area that your wife, right, are responsible for during her tenure as a member of parliament. Right? I'm just asking questions, right? But based on information that we have gathered, and because at this point, I have no evidence in proving that, I am going to let you hear some of the allegations, because you said, Darrell Vaz, that God no like ugly. But Darrell Vaz, let me say this to you. Your name, both you and James Robertson names, involved under some serious circumstances of allegations of number 3 and wrongdoing. It's not out of the mouth of Mystic Sensation. I'm going to play the clip and let you hear for yourself, because I know you are listening to me, you know. And I'm going to show you what the people are saying. And so then we have seen some grievous situation now that is taking place as a result of your wife lost to ISAT BUCHANAN. And it is stirring up a lot of bitterness, a lot of grief. And as such, people are coming out and speaking out that the reason that they get rid of Anne-Marie Vaz, right? And they wanted to also get rid of you, sir. Let me say that. Because of land grabbing, right? As according to them, killing, that, you know, from your hands, as according to them. And as a result of that, you have suffered them. So when people are talking about, some people jumping up and talk about the amount of things that Action Hand had done, the people who live in the constituency of Anne-Marie Vaz, Action Hand, he's saying that, look, she needs to go a long time. She had suffered them. You know what? Enough of me. Let me just bring forth, what the people are saying so you can hear. Right? Let me just bring forth this. Hold on, no, I'm not getting that again. Hold on a minute. Yeah, just give me a minute, people, because it is getting hot enough. And I want to, can you imagine? Like me will call,
Your wife again?
I will call wife again, man, because my hand touch something and something slide. Why? Am I bad this time? So let me just, not even the thing is giving me, okay, just give me a minute, people. I'm coming back. Hold on, give me a minute. Come here again. Our problems. Come look at this. You don't know what I'm touch. Yeah. This, so when we go into the sharing, I now see this, and then I see the blue light. So I want to know this.
That?
Yeah.
Hi guys, sorry, I'm just cleaning, so there. So what you want?
Okay.
You want?
Go back to the sharing. But I did that.
Well, you touch something and it exit out, so I just exit back. Take off the what you want.
Okay, all right. Leave this video.
Did you label it that? When you do them like this,
yeah,
they're all mixed up. You don't know which is which, so that's why I always tell you, give them a name and then
new tower. Wonder if this is it. Okay.
Just from up.
Oh yeah, this is it. So
it says 202.
2025.
Hold on, put it in code. 247. You have to give them a name, Baron, and put them in a file and then use that.
2025. So that is it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, all right, good. Thank you. All right. All right. My bad. My bad.
Everybody come out and talk about East Portland. Come out and talk about East Portland. I'm telling you this, me's from East Portland. So when my blood clot live there. So when I live there, that's the folk in fucking Gio. So when now company media and talk about East Portland, talk about we. Because we are younger generation them, and they don't realize that be old people and people have them money run back on the drugs deal of them. When I come out and come and talk about East Portland, every minute you run for East Portland, two and my vast get boss. A Bloomfield leader run Portland all years, me know. Bloomfield never losing seat, so then kill him, get rid of him, and get Labour right in a power. Nobody come talk about East Portland like you know nothing about here. I suffer with the up here, I suffer all the road where them a fix us. If I never election I come up, then no fix road. So we're not going to talk about East Portland, no fix up on the statement, brother. When I come at draft. Let me tell you this, when me buy my plane ticket to leave Jamaica, and the Prime Minister, and I know none of them up at Portland, me see from me know myself, me never see Anne Marie Vaz in person, I'm 27 now. It come with she, I know me alone, that younger generation like me and younger, me can't talk out for themselves. What then do for we? Sure, we want something what then do. True, they fix a piece of road, no feel like you road in a process to fix and then kill Bloomfield. So then they have to do it whether they like it or not. Would you fix up on a statement, they must stop come out here and chat like you know nothing about Portland. What know about blood clot Portland? If I feed them alone, we drop in a ditch and die. If I feed them alone. So when I come talk about my verse, what she a do? You look road where fix or nothing. You don't see walk around and LPL and them. When you see my walk around help people and can't sell, people already have their money get farmer card in my constituency. We don't see no MP nor nobody. You hear me telling you? I'm not afraid to talk that. Paul Thompson disrespect me first time I got yard for help. Over Kensington, me live in Mansion Hill and Paul Thompson disrespect me first time I got yard for help. If Paul Thompson not there with we as look young generation, he not give nothing. You hear? Paul Thompson asks if your ID when you go here, asking for help and go make people search up who you vote for, ask them who you vote for. And he now help and tell us to come out of yard before you go in dog pan you. So when I come about Portland, brother, and if you know MP, they up here treat you before election and know say election that come up. When I come and talk like you don't know, well, you don't know, you not talk, brother. Me grew up Portland all the years of my life, got school at Portland, everything. And mother have 7 pitney and she suffer with we under Labour right bandage. You hear? Suffer with we. So good we no come we all away. No come out bad, we come out to something good. When I run come about East Portland, brother. If you don't know about not talk, don't talk. Don't talk. You hear me tell you? You not talk if you don't know about not talk, say. Because if I never election, none I want to see do. Up until now, we have dirty water in our pipe. Some of the time, we never get good water source in our community. We have feel like a food pipe for the rest of people and get water. We feel like a food if there's a people and get water. Fishermen then can't go see in peace from then come there because I be a coast guard then put pan the car the vase weed now go and in jugs. Uno fix up uno statement come out to young youth they say go kill out up the what the air. Oh nothing and plumb it there. They don't hear nothing about it. Uno hear nothing about it. Brother, uno fix up uno statement them and come good, brother. Apart from blood clot PMP, no, apart from Portland. Apart from PMP and Portland, me no labor, me no PMP, me no side. But you know apart because when politics done, we no see them. Every minute you just a jump round, you just want to find a bandwagon for jump on the media, brother. You think a fame nobody has a look, brother. I will not run down fame but dig up backward. You can't go dig up and dig up no mama too.
All right.
Open back your camera.
Yes. No, people. A bangarang this.
Yep.
Because people, when you hear that, you know. Let me ask the question again. We have people runway now off of the island because of the threat from James Robertson. Now we are getting information that James Robertson and Darrell Vaz work together. Now, as we just heard what the lady said, and me I say it, I heard them make up anything in that there are killings in the constituency, right? That they are very concerned about. You have heard that Bloomfield was killed for the purpose of installing action on Jamaica people. So why the people, some people on social media talking about action on did this and action and did that and doing road and railway, blah, blah, blah. What they are saying in Portland, that Bloomfield have done much more and would have done much more than action on, but he was killed. And based on the information, right, that he was killed by GLP operatives, and where the so-called action on was installed. People is serious enough. Is that something serious enough? Now, if you believe that it is the young lady alone saying it, stand by Jamaica. That is the normal. Stand by Jamaica. Listen up. Right? Listen here, Jamaica. Because this is not nothing what we are making up. When you listen here, Jamaica.
Left a long time because I told demonic people them there. The whole heap of wickedness and doing a man place. There are vast murder when commit up. This is one little thinking girl I come talk about Anne-Marie Valls.
Fresh drop.
Fix up road and she dig up back road and railway. Anne-Marie Valls of Portland. Thinking girl, idiot girl. Anne-Marie Valls a run come show a road and sit because she want to get voting and get the trust of people. You know that about Portland thinking girl. A Mansion Hill all at school me used to go thinking girl. Mansion Hill my born thinking girl. What you know about Portland? Sometimes when you see some things and allow it alone, man, and see people, community and allow people, community want to know not about, man. You know come from them, man. You know why you come on TikTok and talk nothing about Portland. And Marie Valls left a long time. Darrell Valls left a long time. Because I told demonic people them there. The whole heap of wickedness and doing a man place. Darrell Valls got prison for all the murder when commit and make other people got a whole heap of things going on and I don't know about, you know. When I come talk about Portland people and grateful thinking, girl.
Fresh
they
drop.
Shut to them out and come on TikTok and say nothing, you know. Big up ISAT BUCHANAN. Big up what you do for the people them over there. Big up what you do for the youth, them, the younger generation them over there. Pertaining to education wise and pertaining to justice. You see what I say? So now I like a thinking girl come on TikTok and come talk, you know. On a thinking prime minister, on a thinking prime minister go dash right box them. Make a police boy and the police girl and go dash right box them. So on a thinking people are come on TikTok and not talk nothing about that. The whole I know I see and think on the prime minister don't go send them go dash right people and box them and see then see video. They must show a police girl and the police boy and go dash right Mark Golden box them. Hey girl, come off a TikTok and a concern in a dirty girl. I want your germs girl. But chuck off in your mama and splash up your auntie them and go.
Yeah, fresh job. Oi.
All right. My people, let me my apology for the expletives, right? Because I didn't really listen to the end of the clip because I know that you may have persons under 18 watching us. And again, let me just explain my apology, sincere apology to all the parents and so forth and so forth. My apology for that. Now, this is serious. Let me just try to reason with my Jamaican people before I bring in Sister Spinks, because more is there enough, Spinks. More is there. But let us just reason the firestorm that is coming out of Portland. And you see, as it relates to ignorance, for those persons who are running out and don't even live in the constituency, saying that Anne-Marie Vaz, based on what they have seen on TikTok, what Anne-Marie Vaz put out and run up on the road and go on like she have epilepsy, right? And they are talking on that basis. Now, people who actually live in that community, right, and experiencing, right, Anne-Marie Vaz, right, and in extension, Darrell Vaz leadership in those regions, they are saying different. They are saying a long time them people that need to go. They're also saying that these people involved with possibly murders. They are saying that these people, as it relates to Darrell Vaz, Anne-Marie Vaz, James Robertson, right, have serious atrocities in people's life. And a mystic sensation, I say, and a things I say. We only bring in the information to make our people know what is happening. And so then, while I am getting these, I'm at awe. We have also seen, right, out of what those two persons allegation, we have also seen established media, BBC, British Broadcasting, had a right report relating to James Robertson alleged involvement in murder plot to Jamaica Labour Party, right, is known for this on a certain documentary. When you talk about the Shower Posse, right, they have been linking many reports, WikiLeaks reports, right? FBI reports coming out of the United States speaking about the atrocities of the Jamaica Labour Party. So then where am I going with this? That Andrew Holness himself has done so many atrocities. I'm not including Andrew Holness in any number 3 now, you know. Don't get it confused and don't get it twisted. The atrocities that Andrew Holness involved in is the pilfering and the sticky fingerness and the Ponzi scheme upping and mashing up and wrecking Jamaica business community and wrecking Jamaica economy while telling lie that he's fixing economy. So my people, we just bring in the evidence. Don't believe that it is going to be any easier going forward, you know, because we are going to do more digging, deep diving, and we'll be coming out with the truth. And this time, as I said, the comrade have more teeth going forward. Problem there. So let me just bring Sister Spinks, right? Sister Spinks, What say you?
Yes, Uncle Byron. You know, from the time that Dr. Bloomfield was murdered, and
Yes.
the fact that Action Ann was actually campaigning for the seat before his death,
Yes. All right.
it became very, very suspicious.
Hold on a second.
And
So I have a caller on the line. Let's let us hear what the caller is saying on the line. Yes, caller,
okay,
you're on Mystic Sensation Live. Go ahead.
Mistake, it's your brother from West Palm, brother.
How you doing, my brother?
We spoke a couple of times. We spoke election night and before that.
Yes, sir.
And I hear you, my brother. I hear your cry, and I hear what you're saying. I am a counselor in my neighborhood, so I do have some knowledge of governance. Okay.
Okay,
Been a
sir.
council rep for over 3 years in my neighborhood, in Palm Beach, and what I can tell you is it's not just that these people corrupt, and it's hard to preach corruption because you're preaching corruption to a nation that is corrupt, and so and it's not that people don't know. I've spoken to a lot of Jamaicans, a lot of labor rights, even prior to election and after election, and they knew that Andrew Holness is corrupt. They tell it to a man, he's corrupt and he's lied, but they don't care because they can get things done and they don't have to join the line. And it's just that mentality of the people because of the continuous corruption and engraved corruption. Corruption is engraved in the society. As far as I can see, Mystic, there's two things you can think of this. The PNP must either win an election or buy an election. You got to be able to flip minds and hearts to win an election, or you buy an election. So those are the only two options that I see the PNP have. To flip minds and hearts in Jamaica with decades of corruption, it's going to be extremely difficult. And how the social structure and makeup of the country is now, it's extremely difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to take a lot of capital for them to do that. With the war chest that the Jamaica Labour Party have, it's going to be even more difficult to uphill battle because they have the purse, them thief, them lie, them have the media. So you're up against all of these things to win an election and capture people's minds and heart. You know what I mean? The country itself know the prime minister is corrupt. If you talk to 10 Labour right, him lying, him corrupt, but they still voted Labour right. How do you change that mindset? How do you change those people? You know that in the election, my sister worked at she was in Jamaica, so she was a comrade, and she was helping with the election at one of the polling offices. People stand up in line, fussing and fussing of the length of the time that it's been taking for them to vote. And you know that Labour rights came up to the PNP and tell them, so when I waste the time for, go down there so I get 10,000 and go on a yard. I'm up out the line and took the $10,000 and go home. And this is a fact. So mentality, and we can't blame them because when people are hungry and destitute, they will. It's hard for them to say no to certain things when they're hungry and destitute. So it's multiple layers of issues within the country itself. Because without a doubt, Mark Walling and the PNP put out a very, very aggressive economic plan for the country. And there was none coming from the other side. Yet still the people choose to stay the course of becoming 2.0. So how do you quantify that rationally as a human, as a person with a well-thinking mind? It's hard to comprehend that, Mystic. Let me hear your views on that.
Well, under no circumstances I will advise the People's National Party in terms of get into the political gutter to buy any election. We have to show as it relates to our contribution in transparency and accountability. And this is one of the reasons why we are on social media. So we have gotten 5 more years to speak true to power and to try to create what we call a political paradigm shift as it relates to what you have just mentioned, as it relates to that sort of mindset that the people, a lot of people having. But you know what? Let me say this to you, my friend. What we have seen changes, right, coming our way. Because when you look and see where the People's National Party coming from, not having the money, not having the political machinery as Jamaica Labour Party in terms of finances. However, the commitment of some of the people in terms of what we have seen and that we have applauded them, right, in terms of our Jamaican brothers and sisters, was able to galvanize around the People's National Party, knowing that the People's National Party have no money to give them, right, but they come with their heart and their soul out, right, to make sure that they are saying we are in search of good governance. And what we have seen in terms of the result of that, and that is one of the reasons why we have to continue in that vein, we have seen where we were able, right, to leave from just having 14, right, and now we have 29. And so then when we look at that, in terms of the plan that Mark Bolden had put forward, we have seen that it reaped benefit, it yielded fruit. So under no circumstances,
I am going to disagree with you because we're looking at fool's goal.
Okay.
So let's go back.
Yes.
When Portia lose by 1 seat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Before Portia, it was PJ.
Yes.
And PNP have always maintained a 40. Have always had the majority of the seats for the majority of the governance of Jamaica. The majority of Jamaicans always been proven to be PNP. That's history has told us that whenever PNP win the election, they win by a strong majority in the House.
Yes.
Because they've always win by a strong majority of seats.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, you're correct.
Okay. We saw the trend, the tide turn in Portia, which lost by 1/4.
Yes.
We saw, and so you have to look at trend. Okay. Yes, the PNP was able to regain a number of seats, but most of those seats that they regained were traditionally PNP.
Yes.
Right. But they were flipped because of a rigged election in 2020.
Yes.
So if you look, so you want to look at the net gain. PNP is still losing when you look at the net gain, they're still losing because they should, by right, PNP should have won this election by a very clear margin. But if you compare all the last 3 or 4 elections, you can see that PNP has lost ground with the electoral. They have lost ground with the electoral. We lose by 1 with Portia. We lose by a huge margin in 20, and we lose again this turn. That's 3 consecutive elections that we have lost. So you don't look at what they've gained in this election, because they're coming off an election where it was a rigged election and in COVID and participation, etc., etc. And this election was primed for PNP to win. And let me give an example. And that's why we can't. Excitement is different from commitment. You see what I'm saying? Yes. You keep a dance and everybody come and you dance and jump and dance and you dance full and sell out and re, and you think all them people there with you. But after them people couldn't care less if they live or die. We look at the PNP rallies,
yes,
and we can see by a far margin the excitement was there. The commitment was not there. The commitment was not there. You can't tell me you kind of turn out there and people are overwhelmed the poll.
All right. Let me say,
because it was from one end of the country to the other end of the country. Because we have to be pragmatic and look at the reality that we were facing.
Okay, all right.
If we want to solve the problem, of both empathy and declining the PNP party, and we have to look at the issues.
All right.
Not just take everything from emotional standpoint.
All right. Hold on a call. Let me just insert myself here. And in terms of what you have said, in terms of looking on the pattern, right? Now,
yes.
I am saying this. that if we try to compete, right, in terms of that wrong that you speak about, in terms of dabbling into the gut politics, buying up votes and doing all of that negative. Now, this is where, again, we will certainly lose a fourth election. And let me tell you why. Because obviously, right, with the capital injection that the Jamaica Labour Party have, right, and we going up against that, doing the same thing, right, we have no say and no moral authority and no ethical stand. You understand? To say, okay, we are not going to do that because their capital injection, you understand, is going to be overwhelmingly powerful. So again, if we go down in the gutter and play in the same game with them, how are we going to win that? You tell me, how are we going to win that?
Okay. Advocating for the PNP to do that. I'm saying there's only two options. You either buy or you win one by changing hearts and minds.
Well, that is what we are going to do. We are going to change hearts and minds. We are going to change hearts and minds.
Yes, yeah. In order to win, that's what you have to do.
Yes,
you
and we are going to do it.
People that you are the alternative and you're the best hope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so do that. You know what I mean?
Well, we have done it.
PNP move forward with getting this done. And just preaching,
Yes.
and my thing is that just preaching corruption alone is not enough.
And no, we are not.
Because,
all right, hold on, Carla.
The country is corrupt.
Carla, hold on.
So you're preaching to the choir.
Hold on, Carla. We are not preaching corruption alone. Let me tell you where we are going. We are dealing with the economy, right? We are dealing with good governance. We are highlighting corruption, right? And we are talking about the security issues. We are talking about the health issues, right? And we are having all of those discussions. So we are on we are not approaching this with a myopic view, right? We are coming with a pyramid view in the sense that we are covering every single details that represent the economy, that represent good governance, right? And on that basis, I cannot be sitting here holding a moral order, knowing that our comrade leader, right, Mark Golden, right, is definitely not that type of person. And he had led in terms of his political mandate, right, as he had established in his political manifesto, that I am going to now divert, you understand, from that. We are going to continue to win heart, souls, and mind by preaching the right thing, establishing the facts, and it goes where it goes. We have seen that yielded success fruits for us in terms of what we attain and what we amass in this general election. We know very well that we, of course, had won the general election, and this general election was stolen from us. But guess what, my friend? We are going to continue to prevail down the line of righteousness, down the line of good governance, down the line of ethical principles, down the line of moral order and good moral compass. And we will not be shifting from that.
And I'm not arguing against that. My argument is not against that.
Okay.
I'm just putting out the reality out there and the options that they have.
Okay.
Let me ask a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask a question. How do you justify the turnout at the rally that the PNP have, and then the turnout of the vote and the turnout for voting? And let me say this also, one more caveat on that.
Yes.
The do nothing that we didn't know, that nobody knew they were going to do. Everything that they did to Jimmy Rig, thief, rob the election, every single PNP must have known this. I knew that they were going to do that. I knew all of these things. All of these things, is it a surprise to you, Mystic, that of the things that they did and the behavior? It's not a surprise to me, because it's been their history, especially under Andrew Holness. This is what they do. This is not happening from this didn't start today or yesterday. from the Jamaica Labour Party. Remember, no, this is a party that killed them own party leader. No. Remember, this is the same Jamaica Labour Party that the night when Sangster win the election, 1966, them poison man kill him, you know. Seaga wage the world and poison man kill him in 1966 in the hotel. Remember that. This same Jamaica Labour Party we are talking about.
All right.
So nothing that
hold
they
on.
do should
Hold
surprise us.
on, Carla. Let me sort of correct that as it relates to Donald Sangster, because since you're speaking on my channel, right? Donald Sangster, and I want you to do the research. Donald Sangster, as it relates to what people are saying and what propaganda, he was not poisoned. There are medical records, you understand, that show you understand, the cause of death for Donald Sangster. So even although, right, I'm here as you know, a democratic socialist, as a Manly Heights, right, we are speaking from the record, medical record. There was no poisoning as it relates to Donald Sangster. So let me just correct that as it relates to the record. Right? Go ahead.
Okay. I stand corrected, but that's for another time.
All right.
So what I'm saying is that there is no surprise at what the Jamaica Labour Party will do and would do to win an election. So we're not surprised at anything that transpired in this election.
Yes, I agree with you with that.
Another thing that I wanted to ask you, did you think the PNP was prepared enough and strategized enough to win this election?
Yes, I will answer you yes after that. And one of the reasons, all right, let me just sort of flip that round to you. Now, Andrew Holness had won the 2020 general election, right? And when you look on the population, the voting bloc that support Andrew Holness was 21%, right? I want you to just check back your records and you will see that in terms of what I'm saying. Now, 2025, right? What we have seen that Andrew Holness again becomes a minority government, this time dropped by 2%. So what that goes to show you, as it relates to critical thinking, is that really and truly the amount of persons who turn out to vote did not really vote for him or vote for the Jamaica Labour Party administration in power. It was robbed, it was stolen, and we have evidence of the thievery. So then, what that tells me, that the People's National Party must continue in the vein of the People's National Party mandate, democratic socialism, right? Honesty, integrity, and transparency, checks and balance.
Absolutely.
And that is what we are going to be doing, right? And my friend, don't believe that I am hitting your perceptions or hitting your opinion. You understand? Because you and I, we are fairly intelligent person, and we can agree to disagree, right? But I like have the discussion with you as well, right? I enjoy having the discussion.
I agree with you 100%, Mystic.
Okay, all right.
100%. There's no dispute here.
All right. Okay.
I believe in the principles of good governance.
Yes. Thank you.
But I look at Jamaica as an outlier, and Jamaica as because everything is predicated on the recipient. You know.
Exactly.
You can have the message, you can have the plan, you can have everything in line. But who's the recipient of all of that? Who's receiving it and how they're receiving it?
Exactly.
And that is a reality that we have to face.
Yes.
And what I'm saying is that despite the fact all the things that the PNP is doing, the challenge is the recipient, the people, because you couldn't have a more corrupt government in the history of the country, the most corrupt government in the history of the country, and the people of Jamaica re-elect them. We have to have a deep dive into that. We can't just look at them TV election, because listen, Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles could have told us that they was going to try to teach the election, okay?
Yeah.
And so we can't make that the conversation moving forward. It's past and it's gone. My thing is that how, if you want to win the election, you got to change hearts and mind. And if you can't, or your other option is to buy like what they do. PNP is not going to do that.
No, we are not going to do that.
They're going to choose the other route.
Yes.
The challenge is the recipient. The recipient is the challenge for the PNP.
Yes.
Because of the engraved corruption and corrupt nature of the people and the country itself.
Yes.
So how do you bridge that gap and be able to cross the bridge with these people and change hearts and minds?
All right.
That's a challenge for the people.
All right,
National Party. And if you look, and if you look,
yes.
Just to summarize, it's 3 election cycle that the PNP have lost.
Yes.
That's a trend. You have to change that trend. So it's not just. So is it just corruption? Is it just this and that? Why is the People's National Party trending down? That's the fact. It doesn't matter how they lose, why they lose, or whatever that. We have to figure out the reasons. And look at the trend.
All right, this is what I'm going to say to you.
Consecutive elections that we have lost.
All right.
We have lost 3.
All right, this is what I'm going to say. Hold on.
That's a challenge right there.
All right, Carla, this is what I'm going to say to you, right? Because I have to move on through the program. So let me just say this to you, right? We are going to continue on the vein that we are on, and as a result of what we have seen, we know that we have some structural problems, right? And we have identified those structural problems. Right, where it comes to the proper supervision as it relates to the processes, right, of voting. There are several breakdowns there, and so then remember now what you need to understand that Andrew Holness doesn't have that 2/3 majority, right, in the lower house and or neither in the upper house. So the beast is weakened, and to the fact that the beast is weakened, now we can now have dialogue as it relates to some changes, structural changes, and some protection within our voting system, as such in terms of let us reinstall our political ombudsman, and that's supposed to be independent. We have to now make sure that, okay, we'd like to see the EOJ act on a more independent basis, not under the administration of the Prime Minister's office, and so forth. So these are the structural items we'll be digging to. Because again, remember that to the fact that now we have the numbers, we have the teeth, right? Now we can do much more. So this particular term is not going to go down on certain things that we have seen as it relates to structural weakness in our political system, particularly where voting is concerned. Those are areas that we have identified. Those are areas that we observe, that those are areas that are vulnerable to the process, and we are going to strengthen them.
Mr. Just 2 lines.
Yes.
Mark Goling must remove the EOJ from the Prime Minister's office.
Agreed, sir.
You got to take it must. If you don't take it out of the Prime Minister's office, you're going to have the same problem. And I'm surprised he didn't challenge the ombudsman issue in court earlier on.
Exactly.
Also,
do agree with you.
2 critical things that I think the PNP missed on.
Exactly. I agree with you with that. All right. So I have to run because I have to run through the program.
Yeah,
but
man,
thank you for calling.
Yes,
Big up yourself. All right. Yes. So yes, Sister Spinks, let me just bring you back in the space. I'm sorry to make up you so long in Sister Spinks because we were just there. So let me just bring you back in the space. Yes, Sister Spinks, you may go ahead.
All right. First of all, in regards to that caller a while ago, we all know the GLP has been corrupt from day one, from Bustamante to all the leaders coming down. They have been corrupt. All right. So we don't accept that already. But PNP and GLP cannot be the same. We have to be different. We have to be the honest one, the truthful one, and the transparent government. And PNP has always stood on higher ground with morals and principles that the GLP cannot have. The subculture of our country, yes, it deals with corruption, bribes, and everything like that, right? It's our subculture that we have to accept in this country, that we do have a corrupt population, or population that is subjected to be corrupted or easily to be corrupted. Now, the reason is this, and I think it's our level of education and the level of knowledge that is given to the populace of this nation. I believe basically once we step into a phase, it has been done in phases, where people from primary school level children are being taught civic rights, not just civics and history of the country, but civic rights and what their human rights are, and also political science from primary school level needs to be broken down to this primary school level to be taught. Do not wait until a person reaches university to teach them political science. It does not make any sense. Everybody needs to participate in the voting process, and everybody needs to know what they are voting for. I have been canvassing, and I've canvassed and I spoke to many people, and they don't know why they need to vote. As simple as it is, why would they need to vote? And they think the two parties are the same. That is a common talk that you hear from people who are uninformed. And we need to step up and change that culture. But as you know, Uncle Byron, the GLP do not want people to be informed and be educated voters. They want people who cannot even who doesn't even know how to write an X. Why I think this election they changed the rules so much. One of the rules, is that this election, first time I ever heard about it, where a tick is also an accepted vote. All along I know it's an X, but they had to change the rules, and Tufton himself said it. Some of his voters, the JP voters, do not know how to make an X. They make anything else except an X, right? And we see the video of a laborite teaching another laborite how to write an X, and he could not write an X to vote and vote. That is what the level of what the GLP wants to keep us at and suppress us, right? With lack of knowledge and ignorance of what they're doing. Remember, you pointed out, one of your shows, that although they try to say PJ Patterson sold so much of Jamaica, and at the end of the day, when we investigated and what we find out, they have sold off more. But what happened is that they keep it secret. I'm not to think on these things going forward. No, regarding that little note you made of Bobby in St. Mary and the rape charge, you have to remember that Andrew Onus himself had met a rapist.
Pinks, hold on again. Let me just hear this caller out and then you continue. Sorry about that, Pinks. Yes, caller, go ahead.
Yeah, very interesting program.
Thank you.
Especially the last caller.
Yes.
It makes for a good mix of how other people think.
Yes.
And your response was, I can say, very solid. And one of the things in this structural adjustment we're talking about, looking at the structure, I think what was working well for the system was for the Public Accounts Committee. The chairmanship had always used to be the opposition, used to be the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee.
Yeah.
And this government changed that.
Yes.
So, if the chairman will lead whatever is happening, whether they're going to have Public Accounts Committee meetings, etc., etc., etc.
Exactly.
So I believe that the chairmanship, the structure we talk about, should be looked at to go right back to the opposition party. Because when the chairmanship is in the opposition, more accountability can be brought to the House, sir. Because I see where that was a breakdown. For whatever reason, the government changed and said, never make a difference. We now saw that it actually made a difference.
Exactly.
A lot of issues did not come up because the chairman directed how the Public Accounts Committee operated.
Yeah.
And I believe that would be a significant change again for the chairmanship of the Public Accounts Committee going back to the opposition. And I don't know what the government is afraid of, why they tend to remove all of the accountability all of the guardrails that is used for accountability. They try to move
but
it.
Carla, I know.
Chairmanship.
Hold on, Carla. I know you know very well why they are trying to weaken all the guardrails of justice. Don't tell me that you don't know. You know.
Okay. No, that was just a rhetorical
I know
question.
that. I know that.
No, I know. It was just a rhetorical question.
Yes, I know. I know it's a rhetorical question.
So I am asking you in the work that you're doing and to educate the listeners, viewers that follow your program.
Yeah.
And with the structure you're talking about, I believe you could also put on your checklist that the Public Accounts Committee, the chairmanship, should go back to the opposition.
Agree with you.
So it's something that you could look at.
Yes.
Sir Mystic.
Thank you. Thank you.
And the next thing I've been asking myself, or maybe I might just say it on your program as well.
Yes, say it.
We are having very shortly a swearing in, a big swearing in function to swearing all of these ministers. And within the swearing ceremony, as you know, it's grand ceremony, all of the ministers will have to take the oath of office. Now, to me, it is going to be a very uncomfortable ceremony to hear the Prime Minister saying that he's here to uphold the Constitution and all of these things that he's supposed to say, which would go to the benefit of the country and as a leader should do. When we know that the Prime Minister is under investigation right now for criminality, I mean, we know that illicit enrichment is a criminal offense.
Yes.
So how you, for example, when in a straight face and you tend to carry these programs, within the straight face, when you tune into the ceremony, the swearing-in ceremony, and you hear the Prime Minister swear what he planned to uphold, when we see his actions for almost 10 years and sees that he does opposite, and will make it even worse, he's going to give a speech, as you know.
Yes.
And go and touch on all of these areas as regards to integrity, credibility, and all those things that a leader should say.
Yes.
And a leader which should be beyond reproach. Because honestly to God, you know, when this integrity commission was set up by the government, the agency, he appointed the people. The last person one would expect to be investigated that set up this commission is the Prime Minister. Because we expect at least the leader to be on reproach. But no, it isn't so. So I don't know if I can watch the swearing-in function.
But look here, Nakala.
The Prime Minister speak truth is when I'm sleep.
Yes, but look here, Nakala.
Make sure you tape the program there now.
Yes, man, but look here now.
Because you're going to hear some lies.
Yes.
It's like saying, you can't believe what you must say. Because these are things where honorable people should say.
Yeah, but Carla, Carla, hold on. Hold on a minute here. You know what is going to be interesting, Carla? We are going to watch him again as it relates to the code of conduct, the signing of the code of conduct. That is going to be interesting. Because Mark Golan again is going to demonstrate, right, as it relates to good governance. And Mark Golan and all of his MP candidates, you understand, will be signing the code of conduct. Let us look, right, if Andrew Holness is going to sign it, because that is going to be a big issue, you understand, within this term, because we are here on social media and we are going to watch out for that.
Can I just say something?
Yes, go ahead.
If he did not sign it the first time, I know he's on the investigation or sign all of these things that he has already done. Why What is there to suggest that he's going to sign it this time?
No, but I am not saying that
Remember,
he's going to.
remember,
Hold on,
he has
Carl.
a gift of gab, you know.
Yeah, he has
And
a
he
gift
can
of
say a
gab.
lot of things why I'm not signing. And it was so nice.
Well,
But
we are
you
here.
know, Mr. Byron,
Yes.
it's really hard to know that the people really vote for corruption. That's the sad truth. In spite of the fact that the election might be stolen, but if you were following the results, you're gonna see that thousands of people still voted for him or for the party.
Yeah.
So people really and truly still voted for corruption.
But
and that is something that the caller before me was saying.
Yes.
That there are some things that, you know, the opposition needs to be mindful of and do some of the things that they need to ensure that we get out the scourge of corruption. Because about 60% of the persons still stay away from the poll.
That is true.
And that is what we need to consider. So PNP must have a message that attract the uncommitted.
Yeah.
And that is one of the issues that you missed it. And you are doing it.
Yes.
You have to continue doing it. Because
Thank you.
why is it 60% or 59% or whatever massive percent still stay away from the polls? It is telling me that that cohort of voters,
yes,
whether them say, boy, them have no faith in the electoral system or the two parties, so them stay away. And some that needs to be corrected, my brother.
That's
and, you know,
definitely agree with you. Definitely agree with you. All right. Thank you for that call. Right. That call was really valuable and we really appreciate your call.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. All right. These are the calls that we like to listen to and we like to gear into and have such interaction, right? That bring out valuable points. Yes, go ahead, Sister Pinks. Sorry again, my apology.
Okay, the last point I would like to make is that you touch on Bobby Montague and his charge for rape. Remember, Andrew Holness went to the airport to meet a man who was sent back to Jamaica because he was charged in Qatar for rape.
Oh yes, you're right.
So Andrew, you know, is known for surrounding himself with all kind of criminals and highlighting criminals. That's my last point.
Okay, all right. Let me just play get into certain clips here to show as it relates to still on Darrell Vibes. We're going to go back there to show extreme evidence that Darrell action on coming out fixing fuel roads and claiming that she had done so much. A lot of people, right?
You know, excuse me there. I never make any comment around that case. Dr. Bloomfield. From Action Hand came out and said that she was thinking of getting into politics, and she was campaigning before the murder of Dr. Bloomfield. It was a sure sign that she's the number one suspect of the murder of Dr. Bloomfield. Dr. Bloomfield is known as a doctor, and I heard from many people, whether you're labor rights or comrade, would go to his office for treatment and he would treat you whether you have money or not.
Wow.
He's known for that. He's known for his kindness. People turn up at his office and ask him for help, and he would definitely give it to you. Now, you saw the clip that you played earlier, where this young lady called a man's name, that she said, when you go to his house for help, he would run you out of his yard and said, and threaten to set his dogs on them.
Yes.
How can you do that to another person? You see, the point is this, you know, we need people who are elected who have empathy and sympathy. You can't be such an arrogant person that if someone comes to your gate for help, that you just turn the person away. You understand what I'm trying to say to you? Because this does not make any sense. Exactly. You are elected to serve the people. The people come to you, just like a JP. a JP is selected because they want to serve the community. What is the purpose of you going into a service area and not do the service you're being employed to do? We, the employers, expect you to serve us, to be our servants, to be our due servants, and give us the job that we are paying you to do.
Yes.
What's the sense you employ somebody like a gardener and a helper, and the helper does not cook, the helper does not do anything in the house? Would you keep the person there? Would you keep the person there as a helper? If you have a
Certainly not.
gardener and the garden is overgrown, would you keep the gardener? No. So
Certainly
why
not.
you think it's different when we employ and uh, when we employ a politician that they should not do their job? And Jamaicans need to be taught these things because many of them don't understand. They still think the politician is their boss and they're done. And it's
Yeah.
not so. The politician is no less than you who vote them into power. The politician is equal to you. They are no big man and no big boss. And that is the attitude that most voters have for these politicians. They think they are bigger than themselves. Everybody is equal before the law. Everybody is equal in this Jamaica here, no matter what position you hold in life, no matter how many degrees you have before your name or after your name, you are equal. We are all equal. This is what the nation needs to learn in 2025. Everybody is equal. If your boss disrespect you, you have the right to speak up, no
Mm-hmm.
matter where you're employed. If your boss does not pay you on time, you have your right to speak up. If your boss asks you to do certain things which are illegal, you are supposed to speak up and
Yeah.
decline. Jamaicans, do not be afraid of people who are your employers. And the same thing goes the other way. Employees must show respect to the employees, to the employers. It's a two-way street. Respect is a two-way street, not a one-way street. And
Exactly.
Jamaicans need to learn that. Always defend your rights, no matter what. Learn what your rights are and always defend your rights. And I yield the floor to you, Uncle Byron.
Thank you so much. And let us get into our last video for the show because people, you know that we are coming back. What 7 o'clock Jamaica time, and that's
Yeah,
how it is.
7 o'clock Jamaican time. 7 o'clock
7 o'clock
Jamaican time.
with some more information for you, my people. Right. So let us just get into this final clip that we have here, and of course, bite into it before we go. Alrighty. So when we talk about the situation with Portland, the Portland people are in a crisis as a result of the Buzzard's family, right? Very
Yeah, and they
serious.
know that.
Let us hear it.
Yeah. I'm Colin Beckford, president of Blue Lagoon Alliance here in Port Antonio. The situation happening here in the Blue Lagoon is devastating when it comes to the commercial activity. The people are crying out back for commercial activity. When they travel from wide and far and they have nothing to do when they come. So that's one of the situations that is happening presently here at the Blue Lagoon. It's very, very devastating. You can imagine the Blue Lagoon people know about the bamboo rafting, the motorboat tour, the entertainment. And when they come, no commercial activity for the past 3 years. Yes, so I see where Mr. Robin Russell, the hotel JHTA, he said we are finally seeing some benefit to where locals can benefit from tourism. The JHTA had said more agriculture, more craft item, more restaurant in areas where tourists can venture, more entertainment, more attraction. we're happy with what we are seeing, he added. The Blue Lagoon is one of the main attractions here, not just in Portland, in Jamaica. And this is out of operation for the past 3 years. And all my members here have their families to feed. And when the people come and they have nothing to do, it is devastating the communities in and around. And not just only in and around communities, wide and far, as way back onto Negril, Ochorius, Montego Bay, all the drivers. It is crippling the industry. So I've reached out to all of the lieutenants for you, Mr. Prime Minister, and they have failed. So I'm calling on you to put your attention to it, because you are the Minister of Job Creation and Development. That's for ministry fall under your operation. And I want to reach out to you to come over, put your input into it, and come and see what is happening here in Blue Lagoon. It's devastating. Yeah, man. They come for the boat tour to go over to the Monkey Island. It's something that they have been doing annually. Years they have been doing it. And they came all the way from St. Anne's, 30 people, early Monday morning at 10 o'clock to go over to the Monkey Island, and couldn't get the opportunity to do so. And there in goes, we lost like 30 times 3, you can imagine, in Monday morning. Yeah, for an economy that is crying out, where things are so expensive. People have their children to feed, sent to school. And when you lost that type of money so early in the morning, can you imagine? And this is happening like for the past 3 years. Yes, and we have the evidence to show in the videos that you have seen there. I didn't tell them to say what they say. They come naturally for it. Yeah, so people are crying out, and the communities also.
Just stay on the line. Don't leave. Don't go anywhere, because we want to hear from you. So just
all my members are certified with their Team Jamaica training, tour guide, lifeguard, bamboo raft captain, coxswain license drivers, all the relevant needs, all the craft lighting, all the relevant needs. TPD has trained us alongside with Jamaica National Heritage Trust. So all my members here are qualified and certified, and sitting down doing nothing with all their certificates.
And then we just spike into it quickly. But before we do that, we have a caller online, and we want to hear from the caller. Yes, caller, please go ahead. You're on the presentation live.
Yes, my lord.
Yeah.
My question is, because of the illicit enrichment and all of those things, can they still be brought before the magisterial court, and then for them to prove their innocency and where they got all of their enrichment from? And I heard the lady that was speaking when she said about the MPs and whoever they are, they not have more say than us because we are the ones who put them there. It's just like us in America. The only thing we in America cannot do, when you get your seat, we cannot vote, but we have every other rights.
Okay, all right. Let me just answer your question. Very good question, let me say. All right, so this is how it works. As it relates to the investigation, right? The criminal justice system divided in 3 categories, right? The judiciary, right? The prosecution and the investigation. So where Andrew Onus is at now, right, is at the investigation stage, right?
Okay.
Now, what needs to be done now based on the evidence, and that is why FID, right, the case sent over to FID, right, is now fit to process it, look at it, right, and of course, if they come with charges, and this is where it is now going to now reach as it relates to, he's going to be prosecuted, being charged, and now put into the judiciary. So the problem that we have is the corruption between these investigators and the DPP. So you see the struggle, that we have in terms of the investigators, which the DPP should also be a part of the investigation as it relates to working in tandem the investigators. But when you have a corrupt DPP, and now you understand the reason, as for me, always put the blame on the DPP in saying that the continuation of corruption is as a result of we having a corrupted DPP and corrupted investigators. Let me say this to you.
Very well so.
All right. If you notice, I will always defend the judiciary because,
of course,
yes, we have a solid jurisprudence, and most of our judges, I can say, they are very solid judge. And this is what Andrew Honest, right, as it relates to the illicit enrichment, they don't want to face the judiciary, because if they face the judiciary, ma'am, they are going to be prosecuted. So that is where it's at. So we are still.
And the gov order that he put on them in the House of Parliament, how can that be reversed?
All right, a very good question. How are you so brilliant? All right, I'd like to answer this question. All right. So now that we have 29 members of Parliament, 29.
Happy more.
All right. So that is where now dialogue, right, can, ensue in terms of, shape the dialogue to make amendment with section 53 subsection 3, that is the muzzle order, the gag order, right, that you want to, give, some liberty to the investigators, so that while an investigation is going on, right, they can speak on the investigation, you understand, and they can seek in terms of their queries, right, without it has to be tabled, right? But now, as it stands, as it relates to the section 53 subsection 3, the Muzzling Act, right, they cannot speak on an investigation unless it is tabled, right, before they can speak. So if they've done their investigation and it is not tabled, they can't speak on it. So that's where it's at.
Okay.
All right?
That's where it's at.
That's where it's at.
We'll get somewhere though. Don't worry.
Yes.
We did stand at 40, now we stand at 29.
Yes.
We're going there. We're getting there.
We are getting there.
Oh yes. And this is a big breakthrough for us.
Big breakthrough. Big breakthrough. All right.
Breakthrough.
Exactly.
All right, darling. You have a good one.
Same to you, my dear.
Bye-bye, sweetheart.
Same to you. All right. And this is what I'm saying, that we love these calls, right, coming in. So let me just put you in Spinks in terms of what we are seeing with the situation in Portland, right? Many persons are saying, contrary to what we have heard, right, other persons defending the VAR, right? The people in Portland is saying that, right, the VAR's family is wrecking Portland, land grabbing. A lot of hold on again, just answer this other call.
And can you not put your phone so close to the speakers? You get a feedback this side. Hey, hear me, Uncle Byron?
Huh?
Don't put your phone so close to the speaker, you get a feedback.
Yes. Sorry.
No, man,
all right. I want to hear what who is calling.
No, man, we had it before. A while ago, you put it too close and we couldn't hear what you were saying. You had a feedback this side.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Is the call?
All right. So we had the phone before, talking to the person is okay, but it was too close a while ago.
Oh, okay. All right.
You understand?
Let me have you in there as it relates to what the people are saying, right? Against the VAR, some serious allegations, and they want the VAR out of their life. Go ahead, speak.
Okay, regarding what that clip was saying, the video clip, the interview with that man who is the president of the group there behind him. Let me tell him this: Robert Russell is the father of Robin Russell, and they are both laborites, and they are the owner of Pier 1.
Yes, caller, you're on Mystic Sensation Live. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead, caller. You're on Mystic Sensation Live. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say something.
Yes, my dear.
So Anne-Marie Vaz,
Yes.
Now it's a big talk now, about her. Some persons are saying, this is all over on social media, that people are wicked. Hold on. Did I say good evening? Sorry. Good evening to you. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
All right,
To
go
everybody
ahead.
in the
Yeah,
chat.
man.
Okay,
All
let me
right, thank
continue.
you.
Right, yeah. So I think she has performed a good job.
Yes.
People throw cold water in her face. The people in her constituency.
Yeah.
No, it is not like that.
Exactly.
People must learn to understand certain situation, and when it is wrong, it is just wrong. If she's gonna get allocation of funds, money to do work in her constituency, she must do it. Do not wait until it's time for election. And that's what Rivas does. And also with the beaches and all of that, preventing the people from earning decent living. It is wrong. They want to control. And that's not how it goes. She is eating oxtail. These people can't eat oxtail. They can't even buy it. So she must have good consideration for the people in her constituency. That's what they did. Vote out.
Agreed.
Because the role being fixed in night or when it's election. What about the people who suffered before all that with asthma and all that don't stand by the road? Right? Look how long she got that money was to do the fixing of the road. And she waited until election comes. She's doing what her prime minister is doing, her leader, because that's what he does. And that must be a lesson to every member of parliament, including the prime minister, Jones, because that's what he did. I'm talking about he know when to turn up the thing. He has done it over and over and have the people suffering just the same with what he has done with the water and the resources that the people must get. And storing water in black, which is not good for them.
And there you go.
So that's I hope he takes a picture of Marie's book. And I am happy to, because she didn't see that one coming from her.
Exactly.
And that is the biggest upset of the JLP right now.
Right
and
now.
Marie Vance, you must learn from that lady because you're all smoke. You take over all of Facebook, go there, she's on it. Going on. You never see that one coming, and you will never, you will not forget what you have done. And that's the reason why they vote you out. And I endorse it. The boss is doing it, and he must stop. And this is what the people know. Vote out Andrew because they suffer. And me, I tell them the situation now change. And all those promises, they're going to see what will come.
Exactly.
Yeah, Brother Byron, I endorse it.
Bless my sister. I endorse it too, and I know Pinks does.
Yes.
All right.
People, she's out of what I say.
Exactly.
I don't know how she feels so entitled. She and her husband.
There you go.
Him to the one who's in sin, but she, Brother Byron, then so when it's done, it just begun.
All right. Let them know.
Parliament level now.
Let them know. And we are here, my sister. We are here. All right. Let them know, my sister. Love you.
All right. Love you more. Sister Pink, big up. Take care.
Okay. All right. Yes. That's a wonderful call as well. Right. Yes, Sister Pinks. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that Robert Russell is a father for Robin Russell, and they are known laborites in Montego Bay. They own Pier 1 for years, and the son Robin has bought a hotel on the bottom road, and he's in the president of this tourist thing here, hotels and whatever. No, he's also the president of the Chamber of Commerce in St. James. And when you see, he made a statement like that, and he did not intervene in the situation that's affecting these men right here, it says a lot. It took ISAT Buchanan, Comrade ISAT Buchanan, to come out and defend these people in court. I do not know if the issue is unsettled yet, but we see that because ISAT had intervened, the harassment of the blue hole workers had stopped. And we saw videos earlier on many social media platforms of security guard being placed at the location, things put across the road so that people could not drive into the location, and the harassment of the workers there. Imagine for 3 years you have your work being removed from you. What do the Vazes expect these men to do? And I'm sure these men are fathers. Fathers.
Yes.
What do you expect these men to do? Scam like them or turn gunman?
Exactly.
You understand the point?
Exactly.
Not everybody wants to earn a dishonest living like themselves. And these are honest men, right? They're out there doing their thing and they want to be independent. They're entrepreneurs. Let me say this again. These men, I stand with them. They are entrepreneurs because not everybody wants a boss over them. Most people want to have their own time to spend with their families and do not want to be dedicated to a workplace so that determines their work hours. These men are entrepreneurs and we must recognize them as a group as entrepreneurs. And going forward, I hope that Mark Golden keeps his promise in defending all the beaches. We have two in here in Montego Bay that we still have issues with this government right now. And going forward, I hope the PNP keep their word and defend the people of Jamaica, because this is what Mark Golden stands for. And we must recognize that this man is different from Andrew Holness. He's not the same. He's not like the Andrew Holness. He's not like Andrew Holness' wife. There's different. We, our candidates, our 29 candidates, are all upstanding citizens. Nobody can point their finger at any of our candidates and say, oh, he did this or she did that. Nobody. Because one of the things that the PNP does is they background check every candidate and do a social inquiry of every candidate before they're validated. And this is what I applaud my PNP for doing. Can we say the same for the JLP? No. We can't say it. A big no, Uncle Byron. We cannot say it. And I yield the floor to you.
Thank you. And
hang on there. Can you imagine these people have TPD licenses, certified to work in the tourist industry, went through training, and this nincompoop called Andrew is not certified?
Just look at it.
Look at it. I yield the floor now, Uncle Byron.
All right, and there we have it as it relates to the end of the afternoon program, right? And people, we want to say big thanks, and for passing through, supporting Mystic Sensation. Unfortunately, Melting Pot sort of having some technical difficulties, and maybe we'll be seeing him on the evening show as it relates to 7 o'clock JT time, forward back.
Yeah, man, Jamaican time, 7 o'clock.
Time with Springs, right? And of course, Mystic Sensation, right? We are here to educate and disseminate. All right, people, love you all. Mystic Sensation, Pinks. Wonderful.
Yeah, later. Bye.
See you later. All right, people. Blessings, my people. Love you all. Stay tuned for later. Love you. All right.
I know why you come to me with that foolishness, You elect a prime minister, and is a prime minister run the country. It is time we learn to hold our leaders accountable for their actions and stop making excuses for them. Stop making excuses. Otherwise, go elect the people who really run in the country. And I don't want the right guy that stupid argument. Hold the people you elect accountable and stop making excuses for them.